There is it topic for today? Sorry. We are moving to the body of man in the prophetic. So we all remembered we've treated spirits. Please, are you guys? We have discussed the spirit of man in the prophetic and the soul of man in the prophetic. Today we'll be treating the body of man in the prophetic. And in that spirit of prophetic and of man in the prophetic, we treated intuition, conscience, and communion. In the soul of man, we treated will, emotion, and what's the third one? Anybody? Will, emotion, and what? No, soul. Will, emotion, and what? No, he wants to get it. He said thoughts. No, where is the thought coming from? Mind. Will, emotion, and mind. So now today we are moving to the body. And likewise also the body also has three. So you go and say blood, flesh, and water. Say that. Blood, flesh, and water. Let me make this quick intro before I go into the topic. I've already explained to us what school of the prophetic means. It's not like school of prophet, like the way it sounds like prophet sitting and teaching. No, it is just how to hear the voice of the Lord. Are you getting? How we can be able to hear the voice of the Lord. And the reason why we are starting with, I think from tomorrow now we'll start dealing into the prophetic direct, where we'll be talking on the consciousness of the spirits tomorrow. But the reason why we are starting with the spirit, soul, and body is for us to know how this thing works together. I already made many examples of receiving the way I receive messages from God. For instance, now I mentioned one name that time. I said Amaka. One of that lady's lineage, something. I said Amaka. How is that Amaka? How am I able to receive that Amaka? That's what we are trying to teach here. The moment I said earlier, I said while I was looking at that picture, I just saw that river passed by the back side of the picture. How was I? Is it with the same physical eyes I saw it, or what? That's what, and we must start from the foundation. That's why we are treating the anatomy of the spirit, which I call the body and the spirit of man in the prophetic. That's what I called it here. But on the normal ground, it is just the anatomy of the spirit, anatomy of the soul. And when we are talking about anatomy, is you specifying it. If you have already seen a skeleton before, that you now start drawing line, like what do we call labeling? That's what you call anatomy. Whereas you will learn everything that has to do with that thing from the head to the toe. So the reason why I'm saying that is, I said a quick intro. The reason why I'm saying that is for us to not take this class as levity. There was a day I was here. I think Bro Chibike is here and Bro Paul is here. We are playing the piano here. We are playing song that day. I don't know if Bro Chibike can remember. I told him that day. I said, is your mom in Lagos? I don't know if you can remember that. I said, is your mom in Lagos? I think I mentioned some other things that day. We were in deep worship that day. And the Lord is willing to speak with Bro Chibike about something that even me, I was not able to know. But I only knew, I think, the following day when he now said his sister is currently at home. So the reason why I got the message wrong was, with the way he always talk, I thought the sister is in school, but he said the sister came back home. Maybe for a day, I don't know, during that time. So in that vision I saw that while we were playing, what I saw was his sister. But the information I had earlier made me think it is his mom. So the Lord is willing to speak to Bro Chibike that day. But because Bro Chibike was unable to identify, are you guys following? To identify the voice of God, then the Lord passed the message. Or let me say, I don't want to use the language, because of my own ability to hear in the spirit realm, I was able to hear that. Meanwhile, the message is not even for me, it is for him. So the moment you see a prophet standing and there's one recipient in his front and he's trying to prophesy to that person, on a normal ground, the Lord has tried so many ways to speak to that person, but the inability of that person to listen to the word or to identify, let me use the word identify, to identify the voice of God will now make them start looking for prophets. And you see, most of the times, most of these people, they will now fall victim of false prophets. Prophet that they've never even heard anything, yet they'll look as if they hear. So that's the reason for this, our foundational classes. And today we are moving to that third part, the chapter 3. I think we've done lesson 1, lesson 2, this is lesson 3. We only have 4 lessons in this foundational part. The fourth one is the one we are treating tomorrow, the consciousness of the spirit. So after these 4, the responsibility now you now begin to go into, you will now begin to study prophets in the Bible and how they hear the voice of God. I said earlier the body of man in the prophetic, which I mentioned, blood, flesh, and water. These are the 3 components that makes the body of a man. The body is the part of us that makes us conscious of the world. Without this body, you cannot be conscious of the world. And what makes it conscious is these 5 sense organs. That is what makes you being able to interact with the world. And when we are talking about world, we are not talking about the earth or something like that. We are talking about the people living there, the things you see here, you being able to interact with them. It is through your body. And remember, we are tripartite beings. And what do I mean by tripartite beings? We are spirit, soul, and body. So this body is what makes us being conscious of this world. According to scientists, human originates from blood, where fetus forming starts. That's the life. What I mean there is, I don't know if you've already read about or studied on how a baby is formed in the belly of the mother. It starts by blood. That's the reason why if some people have miscarriage, maybe around first week or second week of pregnancy, all they will see is blood. That's the whole child coming out. It originates from blood. Then the blood will begin to form. Water will join. Then flesh will begin to form. Till 9 months. There is a passage of the Bible that made us understand that the life of a man is in his blood. I think before I will soon get to that. I wrote it down somewhere there. The life is in the blood. I'll still explain well on that water, blood, and flesh. I'm just trying to bring out some points I stated down here. The human blood carries the traits of human. Today's lecture will not look as if we are treating something that is spiritual. Why? Because we are treating our body. So more of it will begin to seem like we are doing biology here. You know, today we are treating on spirit. It seems we are talking about Bible verse, bringing everything. But today we are treating about body. So it will look more of we are treating biology. But still yet, if you are here and you are very attentive, you will pick out this spirituality inside it. Every trait you are carrying is from the blood. You know, I remember I said we human beings, we formed from blood. And the blood is from our both parents, the father and the mother. So if you see someone who is wicked as, let me say, the devil, it is in the blood, the trait. If you see someone that is, this guy, you are just too sluggish. You are too, I don't know, all these kind of things that we always notice in people. It is from the blood trait. And there is a very high possibility that if such people give birth again, you will see that trait again in their children. Your look originates from the blood. These faces we are looking at, it comes from, there are some people, they always say, my beauty, I got my beauty from my mom. They are so beautiful to the extent that they can tell you that my mom gave me that beauty. Why? It's because it originates from that mother. So what is your flesh, water, blood, everything? It is from the ancestors. There is something Prophet Emmanuel was saying these days on one of his podcasts. He said, the DNA, the deoxyribonucleic acid, the DNA of a man is like 100%, and he said we are only using 10%. The other 90% is our ancestors. So that your great grandpa that died, something that belongs to him is inside you, in case you don't know. So that's the reason why you will see some people, they will not resemble the father, they will not resemble the mother, they will go and resemble 2 generations of bygone. Your ancestor, every of your ancestors, if it is 1,000 generations, something that belongs to them is inside you. Are you getting me? Your parents, the father, the mother is inside you. It's just that you take half from the father, half from the mother, and you form yourself. Now, you too, when you want to give birth, maybe a female, you will give half, the husband will bring half, and you will form another person. That was how traits begin to form. Remember, you that you are formed, you got something from two different people. Now you are giving again. That one is bringing his own two, coming. The child has already taken like 6. That's why he said, humans, it's even scientifically proven, we are only using 10% of our traits. So if you see someone that is wicked, he's only using 10% of it. He has food inside of him that he cannot even show out. The flesh is governed by the 5 sense organs. I think I mentioned that earlier. The 5 organs: the ear, nose, the tongue, the skin, and what? I think I mentioned that many. Skin, ear, the eyes, nose, and tongue. Those are the 5 sense organs. Eyes for seeing. Without this, your eyes, you cannot see who you are interacting with. Ear, without the ear, you cannot hear what you are interacting with. Without the tongue, you cannot taste what you want to taste. Without the skin, you cannot feel. What again? The nose, you cannot smell. So these are the 5 sense organs that makes the body being receptive. Or should I say receptive? Being able to interact with the world, being conscious of the world. Our behavior originates from our traits. I said that earlier. The blood is the life. I said that earlier. I said no blood, no life. That is the reason why no wonder when you hear someone died, give that body, I don't know how long, give it 3 hours. The blood in it will dry up. Because the blood carries the life. Some people will begin to wonder that, where did the blood go? Where did it go? The blood dried. Because that's the life, that's the essence of the life in that body. Blood carries the most parts of the body. Everything we see in our body, you see in our veins, blood are flowing everywhere. Anyway, just cut yourself in your blood. Are we following me? The human body is formed from dust. Let's come there. In the book of Genesis 2:7, we all understand that our body is formed from dust. And let me be more specific, the flesh is formed from dust. Even though the one that you're not coming out from your mom's belly, it's not like there's one dust that they join together to form us. Remember, human originates from blood. We originate from blood. And now when human dies and they are buried, they turn to dust. Are we following? That's why we bring out flesh, blood, and water. It seems we have not mentioned water this morning, even though we are partially mentioned water, but no, because blood is formed. Water mixed with something. That's why we have blood. So that is why scientists, they've made us understand that the body component is made up of 70% water. Is it 70%? I wrote it somewhere. 60%. Sorry, 60%. I think 60% in male, because male and female, they differ from each other. And this blood you are seeing, water contains 92% of it. So that simply means the other 8% is maybe some things that make it red. I don't know. It seems the plasma is the other stuff, the hemoglobin and everything we have been taught in our biology days. So what are you saying?
There's a part of body that usually have ordinary water. This thing. That's blood will not be.
Yeah, we have some. Yeah, our, what do we call it? Our body also, water flows in it. Have you wonder why you are? Okay, so white blood. Okay, talking about white blood cell. No, the white blood cell is not white. This thing because they call it white. Is it white? Bro.
The reason why I noticed that is that was the day where I was wounded. So
you saw white.
Okay.
Okay, there's possibility, because when you wound, we are already coming back to biology. Sometimes if you wound, you first see the blood platelets. That's the white covering that covers it. You first show very white, then before you know it, blood will begin to come out. Please let us just leave there. But what I'm just trying to let us know is that the water contains much excess of human. Meanwhile, the blood is the life of man. Meanwhile, when man dies, they go back to dust, which is the flesh. So these are the 3 components that have made up human: the flesh, the blood, and the water. The flesh is the outer part of the body that covers the water and blood inside. So now we are getting to understand that the water and the blood is inside of this our flesh. So it is our flesh that covers that covers the two inside. The book of John 19:34. I don't know if there's someone that can help me to open that. John 19:34. The flesh covers the water and the blood that is in a man. We are learning the body of man in the prophetics. On the norms, if we are to learn the body of man in the prophetic, we are supposed to go directly in the line of the sense organs, because most of the time that's what the prophetic deals with. But the reason why I'm not going that way is because we all know these 5 sense organs. I believe every one of us here have been students of even tertiary institutions. We all know the sense organs, so I don't need to start coming to teach you that we use the eyes for seeing, and I begin to explain that we have the pupil, we have the eyelid, we have all those stuff inside is cornea there, yeah, cornea, all those. The book of John 19:34.
That's 4.
Yeah.
He said, but one of the soldiers with a spear.
Is it? Oh, yeah, continue.
One of the soldiers with a spear speared his side and fought.
Okay, that was Jesus.
Out blood and water.
Blood and water. Thank you. That was Jesus when he was pierced at the side by one of those soldiers. They said water and blood gushed out. Sorry, did he use gushed? let me just see that. It's the blood and water begins to rush out. Just trying to back up what I said there, that the blood, the flesh covers, and it's not even something that we all don't know. We all know that if you use something like she explained earlier, she said she bruised her hand and all she saw is water. Some people blood, commonly blood. And we are moving directly so fast because of our time. Blood. Let me treat on the blood. Let me talk on the blood. The blood of a man the blood of a man is his life. I said earlier, without blood, no man can live. Our blood originates from our parents and not God. I hope you got that quote. You understand? Our blood originates from our parents and not God. The blood forms our traits. The human blood in us always fuels the power of the flesh. That's one quote again. The moment you begin to notice lust in your life, the moment you begin to notice that urge to lie, to steal, that's because blood is flowing inside you. That is why I always say that we may die daily. That this flesh, that's why you can never stop praying. You can never get to a time and say, yes, I've conquered the flesh, I don't need to pray anymore. The moment blood is still flowing inside your body, inside your flesh, the flesh is alive. Nobody has ever gotten to that height of saying my flesh cannot bring me down again. It's a lie. After Elijah confronted the Baal, those prophets of Baal, just one woman from the corridor of her room, she sent out a scary message. The prophet ran. Yeah, I always love what God will always say. God will say when he was running, where is the chariot of fire? The same man who got ascended by chariot of fire is running. Where he was running, where is that fire that he used? Sorry, it's not the one that is fire. Where is the fire called down to consume the sacrifice that they've already done? Where is the power? The moment, what I'm trying to bring out is the moment blood is still flowing in this flesh, you can never grow to that extent. You will now be like, okay, yes, I can never fall. The Bible doesn't understand that he that thinketh he standeth, let him be careful, unless he will fall. Let it that thinketh he standeth take heed, lest he fall. The blood in human dries up immediately after death, because that is the life. And once the life is gone, the spirit and the soul separate from the body. Even though the spirit and the soul is not something we can see, the both of them have their own realm which they are operating. Yet in this body you can control them all. So that simply means they are all inside here. They are all in you. But the moment the life goes, are you guys doing? The soul and the spirit separate. Any man with blood flowing in him tends to have the Adamic nature in him. The blood carries the human identity. A contaminated blood is a contaminated life. Hear that too. Contaminated blood. One of what contaminates the blood is infection. Someone that has a virus running in him, the life is also contaminated, because anytime at any point, such fellow can die. Preserve your blood. The blood is your ancestors flowing in you. And so much know what I was here. That your blood is your ancestors flowing in you. No wonder a spirit that has fought with your 14th generation can come back and see you and identify you that this is the son of so. Because of the blood, they saw the ancestor. It is not that they saw the blood. I said your blood is your ancestor flowing in you. Let me move to flesh. Our time is going very quick. I said earlier, the blood is the life. The flesh, when we are talking about flesh, we have organs, tissues, systems, sense organs. The flesh is the outer part of human that commune with the world. It brings out the function and trait of human. Likewise, learn from the system of the world through the sense organ. We learn the system of the world through our sense organ. You learn that handwork. You learn your practice. Let me say the schooling. We learn just because we have our sense organs. Are you all with me? The 5 sense organ is what makes us human to interact with the world. The flesh always reacts to the sense organ. The work of the flesh responds from the sense organ. The flesh returns to dust after death. Through our flesh, the sense organ, we can be carnally minded. The sense organ serves as outer antenna of human. Notice everything I'm saying there is sense organ. So that simply means our flesh is our sense organ. So what I jump over in the program. You notice everything I'm talking about flesh is the sense organ. Everything I've said about the flesh, please everyone, let your eyes be open. The way all of you are closing your eyes at once is demonic. I don't like that. So, coming back to the water. The water contains 60% of human. That is will be done very soon in the next 10 minutes. The human body is made up of 60% water. The water enables the inner organs of man function well. There's one thing about me, I just remember the way I'm reading that thing. I remember it then when I don't know anything about the prophetic. What always make me want to know more, like up till now, it's not like I've known all. Don't get me wrong. But I can say, this moment I am, if I stop listening to those preachings I listen, those teachings I listen, I will function well. Because naturally I can hear the voice of the Lord for myself. Even though I may not be able to hear for other people. But for myself I can hear. But what makes me always want to is that hunger. This is why you guys are closing your eyes. No, I'm just trying to, I'm not... Like, what I'm trying to say is then, my eyes, I'll open it very... Because that thing they are saying, I want to learn it. It always wonders me when I see people, they will come out, they'll be like, the Lord says so. The Lord says this, said, and it comes to pass. And you yourself, you will confirm that is the Lord speaking. Means I also want to hear the Lord speaking. So that is why it always seems sometimes I cannot be forcing everybody. But there's one thing I want you to know, if you're able to hear God for yourself. And when we are talking about hearing God, it's not that you just sit there and you say, I think, and something told me. You'll be able to hear clearly. For me to come and tell you that the name of your... Don't know, that one, that's part of this one I said prophetic, because that one I just did now is not prophecy. Me telling your name or something, that one is not prophecy. It's just word of knowledge. But for you to be able to have those prophetic abilities, I don't know if you're understanding me. And the Lord tells you straight, you hear it straight in your ear, that tomorrow so person will come, he will ask this, he will tell you this, prepare this answer, and it doesn't happen to you. I know it doesn't happen to you. But to me, it's very easy for me. Whenever I wake up in the early morning, I'll be like, God, what's going to happen to you? Sometimes God will just dictate something, and I don't know if you have already noticed me, I'll be going sometimes, I will say I've been here before. Most of the times I don't say it out because it's our confession. That's how we always confess it. Once you see something that you have already seen before, we'll say it. I've been here before, I've seen this before, I'm a prophet, and all those kind of positive, those kind of affirmation. Because what is getting us this time is the hunger, the desire to hear the voice of God. And that's the same hunger I want in everybody.